What do we date modern Indian civilization back to? Is it 5,000 years ago?
The Indus,
4,000.
Yeah, since the discovery of the Indus Valley civilization, we have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old.
Deep within the heart of India, a breathtaking structure lies hidden in plain sight. The Ellora Caves, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stand as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Carved entirely out of solid rock, these awe-inspiring temples and monasteries raise a question that has haunted historians and archaeologists for centuries. How did ancient civilizations, without the aid of modern tools, manage to excavate a staggering 200,000 tons of basalt? Were they merely masters of manual labor, or did they possess knowledge and technologies lost to the sands of time? The discovery of the Ellora Caves in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, India, opens an intriguing chapter on how ancient sites in India came to be known to the global community. These caves, exemplary of monolithic rock-cut architecture, present a fascinating study of cultural evolution and historical rediscovery. Initially, the Ellora Caves were vibrant centers for activities central to the local community's spiritual life. Over centuries, the shifting dynastic and religious tides on the Indian subcontinent saw a decline in their prominence. The rise of other religious centers and the gradual decline of Buddhism, which had significantly influenced the early phases of the caves, contributed to this diminished status. As political instability grew, the caves' roles evolved, resulting in decreased usage. Interestingly, this period of obscurity helped in preserving the Ellora Caves. With fewer visitors and minimal economic activities, the caves suffered less wear and tear, which protected their original artworks and structures from significant alterations or damage that active religious sites typically undergo. Despite fading from prominence, the caves were not forgotten. Local folklore and traditions played a crucial role in keeping the memory of the caves alive among the rural populations. These tales, blending historical facts with mythological elements, added a mystical dimension to the caves, maintaining their significance in local culture. The broader recognition of the Ellora Caves came with their rediscovery by John Smith, a British officer, during a hunting expedition in 1819. Drawn to the area by his curiosity about the source of the Mula Mutha River, Smith stumbled upon the caves almost by accident. This serendipitous discovery marked a pivotal moment, introducing the caves to the wider world. Smith's initial reports generated considerable interest among the British colonial administrators and scholars. The early sketches and descriptions of the caves began circulating in British academic circles, sparking further explorations and detailed studies. These initial European encounters with the caves were instrumental in framing the subsequent archaeological and artistic studies. Figures like James Ferguson, who visited the caves following Smith's reports, played a significant role in documenting the Ellora Caves and arguing for their significance in the context of global architecture. Ferguson's work particularly helped classify the artistic and architectural styles of the caves, providing a scholarly foundation that would contribute to their recognition as a site of profound historical and cultural importance. The scholarly work initiated by figures like James Ferguson set the stage for a deeper appreciation of the Ellora Caves, not just as historical structures, but as masterpieces of cultural and architectural significance. Carved directly into the Charanandri Hills basalt cliffs, the 34 caves at Ellora are a remarkable achievement in rock-cut architecture. The choice of basalt, a particularly hard volcanic rock, necessitated the use of sophisticated tools and techniques, showcasing the advanced engineering and stonework skills of the era. The layout of the Ellora complex resembles a rich tapestry of diversity, segmented into three main groups based on religious affiliation. To the south, the 12 Buddhist caves display the earliest phase of religious expression. The center houses 17 Hindu caves, indicative of a middle phase, while the 5 Jain caves to the north represent the final addition to this spiritual landscape. This arrangement not only mirrors the chronological evolution of the site, but also the shifting dynamics over several centuries, possibly reflecting the prevailing religious influences during different periods. Each group of caves is distinguished by unique artistic styles and iconography, aligned with the tenets and aesthetics of its respective religion. The Buddhist caves, for example, are adorned with images of the Buddha in various poses, alongside narratives from his life and scenes depicting Buddhist lore. In contrast, the Hindu caves feature an array of Hindu deities and rich mythological themes, demonstrating more elaborate artistic expressions as time progressed. The Jain caves, though fewer in number, are meticulously detailed with carvings of Tirthankaras and intricate geometric designs, highlighting the precision and depth of Jain artistic philosophy. Over the centuries spanning approximately 600 to 1000 AD, the styles and architectural techniques at Ellora evolved significantly. The earlier caves, primarily Buddhist, feature simpler and more austere designs, reflecting the initial phases of rock-cut architecture. As the focus shifted towards Hinduism with the rise of Hindu dynasties like the Rashtrakutas in the 7th century, the caves began to exhibit more sophisticated and ornate embellishments. This trend continued and even expanded with the later addition of Jain caves in the 9th century, underpinned by royal patronage, which introduced larger sculptures and complex multi-storied structures to the site. As we delve deeper into the architectural prowess demonstrated at the Ellora Caves, the sheer scale of the endeavor becomes even more evident. Carved into the hard basalt cliffs of the Charanandri Hills, these caves are not just a showcase of ancient art but also a monumental engineering achievement. The Kailasa Temple, also known as Cave 16, is particularly noteworthy. It's estimated that about 200,000 tons of basalt were removed using rudimentary tools like hammers, chisels, and picks. This amount of rock removal dwarfs that of the Parthenon in Athens, making the temple all the more impressive. Comparing these feats to other historical constructions puts the Ellora Caves in perspective. For instance, while the tombs of the Valley of the Kings in Egypt are also carved into rock, the limestone used there is much softer than the basalt at Ellora and the scale of excavation smaller per tomb. Additionally, the construction of the Roman Colosseum involved quarrying and transporting stone blocks, rather than carving directly into bedrock, highlighting the unique challenges faced by the artisans at Ellora. The labor required for such a massive undertaking at Ellora was immense. Hundreds of artisans would have worked in shifts, continuously, over several decades. This not only required physical endurance, but also advanced planning and precision. The artisans had to ensure that each layer they carved matched the overall design perfectly, as any mistake would be irrevocable. They likely used a combination of geometric planning and three-dimensional visualization to achieve this level of detail. The sophistication didn't stop at carving. The use of iron tools during this period in India was critical, enabling the artisans to shape the hard basalt effectively. These tools were not just for fine detailing, but also for removing large volumes of rock, demonstrating the advanced metalwork techniques of the time. Furthermore, the hydraulic engineering incorporated into structures like the Kailasa Temple was ahead of its time. Sophisticated drainage systems were designed to manage the heavy monsoon rains typical of the region. These systems, which included channels and gutters carved directly into the rock, were crucial for preventing water damage and erosion. This approach to water management, focusing on local water diversion, contrasts with contemporary systems like Roman aqueducts, which transported water over long distances but addressed different engineering challenges. An intriguing theory about the Ellora Caves adds another layer of complexity to their design. It's suggested that the layout and orientation of certain caves may align with specific astronomical events, such as solstices and equinoxes. This alignment could mean that during these key times of the year, sunlight would dramatically illuminate specific sculptures or carvings within the caves, creating a play of light and shadow that was both symbolic and spectacular. Such celestial alignments would not only have enhanced the aesthetic and spiritual experience, but also demonstrated a profound understanding of astronomy. As we further explore the complexities and grandeur of the Ellora Caves, it becomes clear that their art and iconography are as diverse and profound as the engineering feats behind their construction. The Buddhist caves, far from being mere retreats, are vibrant narrative canvases that tell the story of Buddha's life and teachings through detailed sculptures and architectural designs. Cave 10 is a prime example, featuring a large stupa overlooked by a colossal statue of Buddha in a preaching pose. The walls around it are richly adorned with scenes capturing key moments from his journey towards enlightenment and his subsequent efforts to impart his wisdom to others. In contrast, the Hindu caves at Ellora are dominated by dramatic and intricate reliefs of gods and goddesses from the expansive Hindu pantheon. The most notable among these is Cave 16, the Kailasa Temple, which is not just an architectural marvel but also a canvas for mythology. Carved to represent Shiva's mountain abode, it is replete with scenes from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the various exploits of Lord Shiva himself. This cave stands out as a monumental freestanding structure, sculpted entirely from a single rock, showcasing an entire mythological narrative in stone. Similarly, the Jain caves, particularly Cave 32, known as the Indra Sabha, feature meticulous carvings that reflect Jain values of symmetry and asceticism. These caves are adorned with delicate carvings of lotus flowers, celestial beings, and intricate geometric patterns. The detailed depictions of the Tirthankaras in various poses of meditation and teaching further emphasize the Jain philosophical outlook and its emphasis on tranquility and enlightenment. Drawing an interesting comparison, the nearby Ajanta caves, although similar in being a rock-cut complex, present a different artistic and functional focus. Exclusively Buddhist, the Ajanta caves primarily served as monasteries and prayer halls, and are renowned for their exquisite wall paintings and sculptures that depict scenes from the Buddha's life and the Jataka tales. Unlike Ellora, Ajanta features caves with horseshoe-shaped facades and lacks the architectural diversity seen in Ellora. Each cave at Ajanta is dedicated to a single tradition, whereas Ellora presents a more eclectic architectural panorama, including the astonishing Kailasa Temple. This diversity at Ellora not only highlights a broader spectrum of life, but also showcases the evolution of rock-cut architecture from purely monastic uses to elaborate temples and intricate pilgrimage sites, carved into the face of the same mountains.